And in case I forget to say it, I'm totally thrilled to be a part of anything that has the name of Calvin Wills on it, which started this. Because Calvin Wills, Tom Ellis, one of the first two people to come by the radio station to say hi to me. Larry Scott has only been doing radio for 53 years, friends. He loves and plays gospel music. His first radio job was in Neosho, Missouri. And he came to Dallas in 1967, became a very popular DJ here. And why he moved to California, you'll have to ask him in 1961. He had his own television show in Bakersfield when he introduced the Wills family in that city one time. He moved back to the Dallas area in 1979. He currently does 2 syndicated radio programs. One is called Glory Road, which is heard on 11 radio stations. Larry was at the first meeting when the Gospel Music Association of Nashville was planned. He served on the first board of directors. He signed the original charter. Larry Scott has been MC for many shows, from Carnegie Hall to the Cow Palace in San Francisco, and the Polly Grimes Gospel Concerts, which introduced gospel music to Southern California. He's been MC for the Albert E. Brumley Sing for many years, and he brought the Statesman in 1959. He was at the first National Quartet Convention, 1957, when the legendary Wills family were singing on stage. He helped MC the Overflow Crowd in 1964. Larry Scott is married to Gail, have one son, Kelly. They reside in Terrell, Texas. Tonight, my pleasure to introduce to you your 2007 Media Inductee. Please make welcome Mr. Larry Scott.
I played my first gospel record in 1955 at KBT in the Neosho. In those days, the people that recorded for RCA, like the Statesman and the Blackwoods, RCA had a library they called Thesaurus for some reason, and that was a big name, the big word I never did understand. But they sent out scripts, and you would read that script and you would play those cuts. That was the first thing, the first time I ever played gospel music on radio. But I grew up loving gospel music. I know this has meant so much to Calvin, and the work that Randy has carried on in his name and the help of those people are very special to the Wills family. And Lou, thank you so much for being so kind to me. Mentioned I was doing a television program in Bakersfield. They came through, we were happy to put them on the TV show. Lou has always been quite a promoter, and tonight I brought with me an album that I've kept over the years of the Wills family on Bible Tone. I wish you had it up here, Randy. Can you all see that? Look at Brother Bob right there. But I want to show you what a promoter that Lou is. The blue vinyl. On the back, she circled this. 2 songs that she had written. Said, Larry, please remember those. Hey, thank you all so much. I'll see you in a minute.
Get that on the website. Dallas, bless you, my brother. How exciting. I know that, as I mentioned in the program, you're not a native Texan. You got here as fast as you could. I want you to share a little bit of that story. Did I get the date? Did you say 69
Yes.
when you were at the church? That's amazing. Just share a little bit with us. Play a couple of songs. Bless you.
Even when we got into high school and all my buddies wanted to drive a Corvette, I wanted to ride a horse. Serious. I always loved Texas. A name like Dallas, what are you going to do? They named the city after me. I just want to set the record straight in case you didn't know. So when I moved to Texas in 1969, I was a happy camper because I always felt like that's my kind of place, and it has been for all these years. I love Texas. I'm proud of our state. I'm very proud to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. Thank you so much, Randy and Lou and James and all the directors, Rudy, everyone. It means a great deal to me, and please understand when I say this, thanks to the blessing of the Lord, I've had some marvelous honors along the way with Dove Awards and Gold Records and Grammy nominations and all those things that the industry says these are important. I've come to find out they really aren't all that important. They're just stuff that gathers dust on the shelf ultimately. I am as proud of this as anything any award I've ever received, because I'm proud to be a Texan. I'm proud of the heritage of our Texas music and Texas gospel music in particular. I was moved as I saw these videos from the Campbell family and the Stamps. These are names I'm familiar with. And I came along, I got saved in 1965, and I want to most of all thank Jesus for saving me, for calling me, for using me, and for blessing me beyond what I could have ever imagined. Moved to Texas in 1969. I was a youth pastor, interestingly enough, at a church who was pastored by Ira Stanfill. Wonderful songwriter, Mansion Over the Hilltop, Follow Me, There's Room at the Cross for You. I learned a lot from him. In 1969, I met David Sapp. I saw you earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't recognize you, probably any more than you recognize me yet. What's this gray stuff we painted? We go to the same hairdresser. It puts that little gray right here. I met David in 1969. You and your brother, I think we were at some kind of evangelistic meeting or youth convention or something. I remember meeting you. I met the Galileans, Oak Cliff Assembly of God Church in 1969. I went to a concert in Jim Wesson. I met you. You won't remember it. I didn't recognize you. You had hair. Smooth, smooth, wonderful voice. Interesting how God brings things around. All that in 1969 when I moved to Texas. So good things have happened.
It is such an honor today to be with all of you, and I look around the room, great singers, songwriters, musicians, and to be just here in the audience with you is a tremendous privilege. But I was a little 16-year-old kid when my brother Roy, older brother, he was the oldest in the four brothers in our family, and he came back from a worldwide missions trip around the world, Africa, and he had been in India, and there at the Ganges River in Calcutta, he had seen people going into that filthy river thinking it had some kind of spiritual value. And then from the Calcutta, he came over to Africa there in what was called Rhodesia at the time, Zimbabwe. And the missionary took him where the rivers, they said where the waters thundered. It was Victoria Falls. As long as history had been recorded, this water has been flowing at so many billions of gallons. And then they said, and you know, as long as time remains, this river will never run dry. It's the Nile River, goes all the way down through the country of Africa, and it empties into the Victoria Falls. And we started researching Scripture and found out that the river of God flows like that. It's never going to run dry. And as the song has traveled around the world, Paul was singing it in Spanish for me just a few moments ago, and in Brazil and Sweden and all over the world they sing this song. But I'm so thankful that I know that that river of God is still flowing in my life. Out of your inner being shall flow rivers of living water. So we're going to let it flow for you tonight. There was a thirsty woman.
But let me tell you how much the church world knows this man. We know him when we sing, "Oh, how he loves you and me. Oh, how he loves you and me." That's Kurt Kaiser. And we owe him a great, great debt just for writing that. And they live in Waco, and Kurt Kaiser, come right on, right now. We are honored to have you.
You know, when you get to, thank you, Lou, very much. What a nice introduction. It reminds me of a friend of mine who was honored at one of these things and was given all this accolade business and on and on and on and on. And on his way home, his wife said to him, "Do you think that'll hold you for a while?" And that's kind of the way I feel. Oh my goodness, what a bunch of stuff. But you're very, very kind, and I really appreciate it. And then the second thing we're going to do, "Pass It On," which has been a very good song for me. It's paid a lot of bills, you know, and it's been really quite exciting to see how it's been used all around the world, and that's been great fun. I remember Bev Shea was in Waco a few years ago, and he and his wife and Pat and I were having lunch together. And a real tall, skinny drink of water was waiting tables, and I said, "What are you doing here? Why don't you go to Baylor and get an education?" He said, "Well, I've already gotten my education. I've graduated from Baylor. I'm trying to earn some money so that my fiance and I can get married." I said, "Well, that's a good idea." So Bev says to the guy, "Have you chosen the music for your wedding?" The guy says, "No." So Bev says, "Well, do you know the song Pass It On?" And the guy said, "I'm sick and tired of passing on." Honest to fact, every camp meeting, every church, it's always passing on, passing. And then Bev says, he wrote that song. And the guy's expression never changed, which I think was the best part. So it's been a wonderful experience, and to be a part of this tonight has been very, very special. Lou, thank you so very much.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Kurt Kaiser. Thank you. Thank you so much.